Good morning, and welcome back to Coffee and Sports. This is the morning show, powered by Wire to Wire Network. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak, and to my right, the man that knows better, it's Mo Better.
Hey, good morning, Gene. Good morning, chat. Good morning, everybody else joining us.
In sports and doing podcasting, you kind of live in a realm where a lot of people don't like to be wrong. They want their takes to be right. They live and die on the takes that they make. You listen to Nick Wright on FS1, and he's one of those guys. Like it's his take or no take, right? Like he'll live and die on his take. A lot of people, when they have takes, they want them to be correct, and they just all out root for them. I have not rooted for my take to be wrong often, but yesterday was one of those days where I rooted for my take to be wrong. I had Thunder in 5, and that is no longer a possibility, and I'm thrilled to let you know that we have ourselves a series. We have a series sitting in front of us. Oklahoma City dropped game 3 to Indiana in Indiana, and for the whole second half of that game, it felt like Indiana controlled that game. Now, granted, it was a little bit of back and forth, but that's what Indiana has to do. They have to keep the game super close. They were up 4 at the half. They were down 4 going into the fourth quarter. They won the fourth quarter by 14 points. That's what they have to do. Mo, I couldn't be more happy that my take was wrong. How do you feel about the Pacers beating the Thunder last night?
As a basketball fan, I'm through the roof. I'm excited. We're gonna get more basketball. We're that much closer to a game 7, I'm hoping. Watching the game last night, like I said, in the fourth quarter, I remember saying, like, Indiana, don't blow this. Just keep your foot on the pedal. Don't open the door. And to their credit, they did that. I was really impressed with Indiana and how they won the game, because I've seen a lot of Pacers games, and they've won a lot of games kind of in that cardiac kid style. This game was a grinded out kind of game where they imposed their will, and it looked to me, just from my point of view, that they wore OKC down. That the defensive pressure they started in quarter 1 started paying dividends in the second, before the end of the first half, but certainly in the fourth quarter. SGA and J-Dub, they were visibly worn down and tired. And when your two best ball handlers, your two leading scorers, have 10 turnovers between them, I think that goes directly to Indiana extending their defense and constantly make them work. Like if they can sustain that type of effort, because that's a Superman Herculean kind of effort. If Indiana can play defense at that level 2 more times, they're going to be NBA champions.
So last night, I dubbed the Bennedict Mathurin game. Last night, Bennedict Mathurin was incredible. And look, you're not going to find a very much bigger Bennedict Mathurin fan than me. But I remember distinctly before the series started, how Cottrell said one of the ways for Indiana to really attack Oklahoma City was getting Bennedict Mathurin on the court. He's a guy that can create his own shot. He doesn't need different ways to get his shot. He was 9 for 12 last night, 2 for 3 from 3. He got to the line 4 times. He shot 7 of 8 from the line. He had a plus 16, and the Pacers won the game by 9. Cottrell called that, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It's guaranteeing that you're going to get at least 6 games now. So I don't think Oklahoma City is going to win 3 games in a row. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma City is going to lose 3 games in a row. So we're having a series. We have a series in front of us. And one of the things I want to mention is what happens when you get tired, Mo? You get lazy. You turn the ball over. You get lazy. Indiana intercepted at least 3 inbounds passes. TJ McConnell had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 steals off the bench. My guy was a certified thief 7 days a week. I'm not going to continue that line. But the Pacers looked great last night.
Their bench dominated the OKC star-studded bench. And I didn't think that was going to happen. They didn't just, 49-18 scoring-wise, but they outplayed them on the defensive end as well. Look, if you're going to make SGA and J-Dub wear down, and you can do that consistently, that's a hell of a game plan by Rick Carlisle. But you got to have the guys who can do that. Watching Nembhard and Nesmith just constantly body up and pressure those two guys, and what gets lost is when they didn't have the ball, the defense that Nembhard and Nesmith played off ball, denying them the ball, making them work that much harder to get the ball back. That's a masterclass in defense. A lot of guys wait to play defense when their man gets the ball. The Pacers play defense before you even touch the basketball, and they extend you out. Chet Holmgren, we didn't even mention him. He looked tired. Look, Chet's a talented player, but he's not a physical player. And you can tell he was worn down by the Pacers' physicality.
Well, it was interesting. Like when you see last night, when you see the minutes breakdown, I think this is the first time where Mark Daigneault got completely out-coached. And all season long, the Thunder have been able to rotationally bring players into the game. They've been able to rely on their bench. Last night, Alex Caruso got 32 minutes off the bench. But other than that, Aaron Wiggins, who was basically one of the stars in game 2, had only 10 minutes. Isaiah Joe, who led the team in three-pointers this year, he was 2 for 2 for 3 and never touched the court again. Like, I felt like Daigneault overthought it and thought the game was getting away from him and overplayed some of his stars. I just and you've seen it with Jalen Williams. You've seen it with SGA. You've seen it with Chet. They both played, all three of them played over 35 minutes.
I was blown away by the fact that Aaron Wiggins' minutes got cut again. He's got to be the most frustrated player on that roster because he just come off a terrific game. The man takes 2 shots, and you don't see him again. I don't understand that because he's a natural scorer. And in a game like last night's game, when your 2 best players are struggling, visibly tired, it's nice to have a third wing player that can create his own shot. I would have thought he would have got more minutes, especially in the second half, and he didn't play. So I agree wholeheartedly. Daigneault got out-coached. And look, he got out-coached by a great coach. Rick Carlisle said, we're going to defend them 94 feet. And you watched them turn SGA multiple times in the back court, that the work that it takes out of him, the way they defended him, I think it exploited something to me that SGA is a sensational player. But he's not a natural point guard. He's their point guard, but he's not a natural point guard. I would argue that he's a 2 guard that they list as a point guard. He's not he doesn't give you 8, 9, 10, or he's not that kind of point guard. He's more of a 2 than a point guard. And I think it wore on him. There were times in the game, even when they were trailing, I thought J-Dub should have took more shots than SGA. I thought J-Dub, there were points where he looked like the quickest guy on the floor until late fourth quarter when he was gassed.
You're bringing us great stuff right now. Every 10 seconds you're flickering. I don't know if you could restart and just try to come back, but every 10 seconds you're flickering and it's missing a lot of good points. And I'll hold it down. If you could just restart and come back in, I'll let you right back in. But I'll remove him from stage for now. But look, when you look at last night's game in the NBA, when you look at how that game broke down, Rick Carlisle's whole strategy, and it happened with the Knicks, is to run down your team. And the longer the series goes, Indiana has had the advantage. Now, where they thought it would be a disadvantage for Indiana versus Oklahoma City is simple. Oklahoma City is deep, so you can't really wear them down. They normally play a lot of players. They normally have a lot of bench guys that come in and give you good minutes. Where Daigneault really failed last night was Isaiah Joe is 2 for 2. He's feeling it. Plays 4 minutes. Why is Isaiah Joe not playing? Aaron Wiggins, who was the star for your team. He was the star. He was the best player on your team the other night. And guess what? That guy only got 10 minutes. He got 2 shots. 2 shots. You can't have that. You cannot have a situation where you got a guy who's your best player one night or one of your best players, and then the next night he only gets 2 shots in 10 minutes off the bench. And then you overplay all your stars. And this was not the game to overplay all your stars. This is the first game in the series where you're going to have 1 day rest and then you're back at it again tomorrow night. You're back at it again tomorrow. Welcome back, Mo.
It's good to be back. Where were we?
No, we were talking about the fact that Mark Daigneault kind of went away from his bench, and it played into what Rick Carlisle's been doing this entire postseason by allowing, when you allow your stars to get worn down in a basketball game because you're not sitting them long enough, you're not getting your bench production. That's on the coach. That bench has been great all year. Yeah, and by the way, have you ever seen this? I guess I understand it going into a series. It's just different. But have you ever seen where a guy like the Thunder make it all the way to the finals, they win the Western Conference Finals in 5 games, and they make a lineup change in game 1? I've never seen that. I don't understand that. Cason Wallace was coming off the bench. He was one of their best bench players, and now he's starting, and you're sitting Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't get that.
I don't either. They've been playing double big all year. Why change that? Like, you're supposed to make the other team adjust to you.
I guess they were worried about Indiana's 3-guard set, like where they run Halliburton, Naismith, and Nembhard, and they wanted to get smaller with Cason Wallace instead of Hartenstein. But Hartenstein's giving you good minutes in the series. His hustle minutes, his rebounds, like he's giving you good minutes. Last night was the first time I felt like Hartenstein really didn't have the impact on the series. Now, the one guy I've been singing his praises, I don't understand how you go from scoring 20 points in Alex Caruso, you get 32 minutes and you only take 5 shots. He was 2 for 2 from 3. I know that's not his only role, but the only scorers on the team don't need to be SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet. Other people can get involved. Luguentz Dort is shooting the 3 at a ridiculous rate this series. And if you told me Luguentz Dort was going to shoot the 3 ball at the rate he's shooting it at, and the Thunder would be down 2-1, I would be shocked. I'd be shocked.
I feel like they're getting away from what makes them the best team in the league all year long. They have like 6 guys that average double figures for the regular season. Why get away from what your identity now in the finals?
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, brother. It'll be interesting. We have a series though, and Brett put it in the chat last night. Down the stretch, it looked like the Thunder were unraveling, and it's constantly been a question: can this team come back from 3 or 5 or 6 or 7 points with 5 minutes to go? I'm not saying with a minute. I don't need them to be the cardiac cats. I don't need them to be what Indiana's been this entire postseason. But if they're within 5 or 7, give me a signature comeback with 5 minutes or less. It looks like, and Mo, you know this much better than I do, it looks like nobody beside SGA wants to shoot the basketball down 3, down 5 in the final 3 minutes of the game. It looks that way. Am I wrong?
No, and they defer to him all the time. Game 1, when they were in trouble, they defer to him, and everybody else ends up watching him play. Last night, they deferred to him, and he really wasn't having a great game, and they deferred to him. Look, I know he's your best player, but there are nights when you have a team that talented that somebody else can get off. I would have had Wiggins in the game because he's a scorer. I would have given Isaiah Isaiah Joe more playing time because he opens the floor up with his shooting. Like you said, I think Daigneault got away from what they're known for, their depth, their ability to come at you in waves. We always talk about that Avalanche. He shortened his rotation. And I thought that was strange because that's not who they are. And I think he's allowing Rick Carlisle to get in his head.
Rick Carlisle is definitely in his head. And I love what Rick Carlisle is doing at the end of shot clocks when SGA is holding it out. And it's very obvious. And so what they do is they'll single team SGA, they'll play him tight with Nembhard or Naismith. But when there's less than 5 seconds on the shot clock, they run someone at him to double team him quickly. So then he has to make a quick decision, find the open guy, and then that person has to catch and shoot quickly. It's a very, very good strategy, and it's playing shadow games with who's the open man, because if you watch Indiana, they're rotating. They're rotating to try to take that guy's guy. Like, if you run Nembhard and Naismith at him, whoever Nembhard had, you'll have, like, I don't know, a big run at him. Like, they're rotating, so you have to find the open guy and where it's coming from. And it's just, it's great coaching by Rick Carlisle. Got to give him credit.
They're confusing him. There's a play late in the game where that double comes, and his natural reaction is to swing it to the right, and Halliburton jumps it. It's such a clean steal that Halliburton goes coast to coast all by himself.
Yep.
That is brilliant. If he wants to dribble the air out of the basketball, attack him late, and he didn't have time to make a sound decision. The adjustment is he's got to stop dribbling the ball so much. You got to move the ball.
100%. We'll obviously we'll talk about game 4 a lot more tomorrow or tonight on N1, but let's move forward, man. It's just a great basketball game last night. Super happy to where we're at.
And credit to the Pacers, man, because we're talking about we're going to get the series that we want to go 7 games. Today, this morning, if I'm Halliburton and company, I'm waking up going, no, we're trying to go up 3-1 tomorrow.
That's wild to think that they can go up 3-1 at home tomorrow night in a series where the Thunder are the second biggest favorite in the last 30 years is insanity to me.
Nobody is more blown away. I'm not going to tell you it won't happen, but the way we picked this series, we thought it's the Thunder in 5, but we would love for it to go 6 or 7. But if the Pacers go back to Oklahoma City 3-1 with the kind of confidence they're going to have and how shaken OKC could be, my mind will be blown to the 10th power.
Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for the madness. I have no dog in this race. I do not care who wins the NBA Finals.
Same.
I just want as many good basketball games as I can get. And game 1 and game 3 were great basketball games. Game 2 is not. It was, Goliath slaying David a little bit, smacking him around a little bit. But David slayed Goliath one more time last night. Bunch of body punches. It's like a fighter taking a bunch of body punches because at the end of it, like, oh, man, I don't really have the gas anymore. I'm running out of breath.
We don't talk about this enough. We know how big and impactful Alex Caruso can be. I think there's a guy on the Pacers he's similar in McConnell. McConnell's a dog. He gets after it, and he's kind of their answer to Caruso.
TJ McConnell had 5 steals last night. And nothing makes me happier as an ex-Sixer, he was, and as a Sixer fan I am. McConnell had 10 points, 5 steals, 5 assists in just 15 minutes off the bench. You want to talk about a productive 15 minutes? You want to talk about you go away from Tyrese Halliburton for 15 minutes in a basketball game? What am I getting without my best player on the court? Yeah, TJ McConnell. And you're right. The TJ McConnell stealing the inbounds and getting the layup. They were down 4. It was 87-83. I remember the exact moment. They scored to make it 87-85. And then McConnell steals the inbounds pass and ties the game. And the crowd went nuts.
It's very rare that you see Alex Caruso make a bonehead play. That was a bonehead play. That was a careless bonehead play. It's funny because TJ McConnell did an Alex Caruso on Alex Caruso. Look, I'm giving the Pacers all the credit in the world. I'm hoping this goes 7. Again, I'm with you. I don't care who wins. I just want great basketball, and I want to be able to enjoy it.
Okay. Want to move forward. I want to give a shout out to someone that used to work with us. And I'm going to give another shout out to someone that does still kind of work with us. But remember Shamaria?
Her and I keep in touch still. Awesome.
Shamaria had a take, and I disagree with the take. I still disagree with the take. But it couldn't have been a better timing, right? She had a take on Paige Beckers on her TikTok, and I'm scrolling through, and it was one of those takes that make me want to comment and be like, you're wrong, but like it's perfect take because that's what you want. You want to create engagement. Her take was Paige Beckers is better than Caitlin Clark. I don't agree with that statement, but to have that take happen before last night's game and then being able to respond to it after last night's game, Paige Beckers, if you don't know, and Dallas is 1-10. Like they're not getting, and you know what is wild about Dallas? I don't want to get too far into it, but like they have 3 really good basketball players. They shouldn't be 1-10. Nalissa Smith started last year for the Fever. She's on that team too. They have Arike. They have Dejanay. They have Paige. I don't want to pretend that I'm just going to let them off the hook for being 1-10. But Paige Beckers last night, 35 points, 13 of 19 from the field, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, and only 2 turnovers. That is incredible stats for your 4th game in the WNBA. Incredible. So Cottrell, who's been a big Paige Beckers fan for as long as I can remember, and Shamaria, shout out to the take. I don't agree with the take. I think the take's a little batty. A lot of people don't realize Paige is out. I think Paige is older or the same age as Caitlin. Let me just pull this up. I don't want to say something and be wrong because 23 and then Caitlin Clark. I think they're the same. Yeah, 23. They're same age. Actually, Paige is older than Caitlin. So you can't compare Paige's rookie season to Caitlin's rookie season. I don't think that's a real thing. If you because you'll always be a year behind. Now you can compare their first 10 games, and granted, Paige's first 10 games will be better than Caitlin's first 10 games. But like after the first 10, 15, 20 games, like Paige is coming from UConn. She's coming from a program that played WNBA style basketball to begin with. But I want to give credit where credit's due. Paige Beckers was great last night. She is a very good basketball player. I think she will 100% be a Team USA type player. She's going to be a top player on Team USA. I think that the best players in the WNBA in 5 years from now, Paige, Caitlin, and Juju will be your top 3.
So I want to give a shout out to Maria as well. She has a lot of strong takes, and we don't agree on everything. But I didn't think the Paige Buckets take at the time was crazy. Because I don't know if Caitlin Clark's going to be better than her in the play. I get the potential of what she could be, but I don't know. Your career is going to play out how your career plays out. And I think Paige Buckets, skill set wise, can pretty much do everything Caitlin Clark can do. So I could see where she could be as good or better than her. I don't think it's written in stone who's going to be the best player in the WNBA in the next 5 years. I know people want to project that, but I think barring injury, Paige Buckets will be right there.
So here's what I've done I want you to correct me when I'm wrong. Or give me your opinion if you think I'm wrong. I've literally looked at what they do on the basketball court and I think they're great comparable players. This is a better comparison than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They're different positions. These two are very similar style positions. I think that Paige gets to her spot and is a more fluent scorer inside the 3-point line. And I don't think there's any question with that. I think when you look at the way Paige gets to her spot, she's a much more efficient scorer and she gets to her spots a lot easier. Agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I think she works the mid-range. That's where she lives.
I think Caitlin's the better overall shooter.
I would agree with that too.
I think Caitlin's by far, and I mean this, I'm not trying to give any slight to Paige, but I think this is the best part of Caitlin's game. I think Caitlin's by far the better passer.
She is more of a primary, so I won't argue with that either.
Okay. Paige is 100% the better defender.
I agree with that too.
So when you look at their games and the way they translate, I think Paige Beckers is going to be a top 5 player in the WNBA. But the only gripe I had with the comment is we're comparing the first 5 games of Paige Beckers versus the first 5 games of Caitlin Clark. And if you're watching these WNBA basketball games and the way both of those players were defended in the W, it's not the same. This is not the same. She's not getting picked up 95 the entire court. She's not getting picked up wall to wall. She's not getting doubled. She's got a scorer next to her in Arike who can score also, right? So Paige is great. But, let's not pretend that these two players were being defended the same in those first 5 games. And by far, yes, I said by far, Paige. Control. I also said that Paige is by far the better defender. So I know you want to stick up for your girl, but let's just keep it consistent, Control.
Right. And look, we're all going to have different takes because to me, it could actually go to another argument that's been going on for, I guess, 20 years. Basketball to me is simple. It's you score the ball, you get stops on defense, and everything else in between are just numbers. So I think Paige is a better scorer, and I think Paige is a better defender. I think Paige has the potential to be a better basketball player. Caitlin may very well always have more assists. That doesn't make you a better basketball player. That's just a number. LeBron's going to always have more assists, not better than the ball guy. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Those are stats. LeBron James, it's like that conversation. Did I freeze?
Yeah, you're freezing a bunch. It's all right, brother. We can hear you.
Yeah, LeBron James is the argument that they make is he's had the greatest career. I'm not arguing that. I think he has had the greatest career. Caitlin Clark might have a greater career, and Paige might still end up being a better player.
So let's play a fun game, if you don't mind. And I didn't let you know that this was happening. So if you want to take your time, it's fine. I'm kind of throwing you on the spot, but I thought of it as we were talking.
Sure.
I want to run a draft of 5 players. WNBA style, me versus you, 5 years from now.
Okay.
So 5 years from now, you can have the first pick or you can have the next 2, whatever one you like. I don't mind. But 5 years from now, so we'll do it snake-wise, and we're going to draft a full roster, 5-on-5, 5v5 roster, a roster that can play together with players that we know of. Obviously, there could be someone in the pipeline we don't know of yet. That's, they would be a rookie anyway, or they'd be a rookie, or they'd be a freshman in college. So that's not really irrelevant. But 5 years from now, I want to project what the WNBA looks like. Could you do that with me? Can you humor me for that?
Let's go.
Okay. So would you like the first pick or would you like the next 2? Now, keep in mind, if you take the next 2, I get 3, 4, then you get 5, 6, and it goes like that. It's like a snake draft.
I'll take the first pick.
On you.
I'll take Juju Watson.
I hate that you just took Juju. 100%. That was my first pick. If you went the opposite, I'm sitting there lined up, ready to rock and roll.
That's why I went first, because I knew you would take Juju.
100%. I think they can play off each other because Paige is a great defender. So I'll take Caitlin and Paige. Even though I really I'll take Caitlin and Paige.
I'll take A'ja Wilson.
A'ja will be 33.
She's a dog. I'm okay.
No, I get it. You're going to have her for 6 more years. She's going to play till she's 38, 39. 100%. I'm with you there. So you'll take A'ja, and who else are you taking?
Nafisa Collier.
Oh, I hate that you just did that. Your 4-5 is unbeatable right now. You got Juju, Fee, and Asia.
Yeah,
That's
I'm feeling
not
good.
fair.
I'm feeling good.
It's not fair.
I'm feeling good.
All right. Give me Ryan Howard. I hate doing that because we have 3 guards now. But Paige can play the 3 for me. I'm trying to go opposite because I know you can't take a big now. You already have your 2 bigs. I take Ryan Howard. I really like the way she plays. And then who's going to be I need my 4 or my 5. I need my 4 or my 5. Yeah, I'm loaded with guards right now, and now you're killing me. Give me I hate where I'm at right now. I feel like I started this game and Mo just shut me up. All right, give me Gabby Williams.
It's a good one. Can't argue with that. I'll take Sabrina Ionescu.
Okay. And you have your last pick. So you are wait, you have 3. Yes, you have your last pick now.
You know what? With my bigs, I think I'm gonna go 3 guards. I'll take Kelsey Plum.
Okay, she's 30. So I'm easy. I don't think it's a panic pick. I'm easily gonna end. I want to end with Cameron Brink, but I know you couldn't take a 5 because of the way you were structured. So I'll take Cameron Brink at the 5. I really was looking for a 4 that I could try to steal. So, but I love your team. Let me be very clear when I say this. I think your team will be older. So my team's definitely gonna have the youth. I got 23-year-old, a 23-year-old, a 24-year-old Ryan Howard. And then Cameron Brink's 23 too. So my team's gonna be younger. My team's gonna be walking into the prime.
Yeah, no argument. I think your team is going to be younger down the road, but my best player won't even hit her prime.
Yeah, you're right. Juju will be your best player. I agree with that. So we line up this way. I have Caitlin at the 1, Ryan Howard at the 2, Paige at the 3, Gabby Williams at the 4, and Cameron Brink at the 5.
That's nice.
You have so I'll let you kind of break down your rotation, how you want it.
So I'll keep Ionescu at the point. Juju at the 2, Plum at the 3, and then my 2 bigs are interchangeable.
You're talking about Fee and Asia?
Yeah, they're interchangeable.
I think that the first year your team wins the WNBA finals. I think in year 2, I think I might get you. Like, I think the older they get, you got 2 30-year-olds and a couple 28-year-olds. You're going to be 35, 35, 33, 33, and then 26, which is amazing. But I can't fathom. First of all, Juju is, in my opinion, going to be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Like, I think she is going to be that good. I'm perplexed at how good she is. But if I'm being completely honest, if Asia and Fee don't fall off a cliff, I think your team beats mine.
At least in the early going, I would agree with that. Sure. I built my team to win now, and I built it around. I built it around Juju because as the other girls age, I think she won't even just be coming into her prime.
It's funny because I let me ask you a question. You said Gabby was 100% a panic pick. I definitely kind of was up against it and need to get a pick. If I picked Aaliyah Boston at the 4 instead of Gabby, would you have liked it better?
I would.
I like Gabby Williams a lot.
Really? I like Gabby too, but I think Aaliyah Boston's a problem.
Aaliyah Boston is a problem. I just think, and I guess with having Caitlin, her point guard, that would really be helpful, but
the chemistry is insane between them. So yeah.
She's definitely not a 4 though. So I think that Nafisa Collier will absolutely destroy her. at the 4. That's what I'm 100% worried about. All right. I told you guys every morning that I am on here with Mo, I am going to attempt. Well, maybe I should have took Angel. If she's the 35th best player in the league, I should have took Angel. She's going to give me rebounds. Me bounds. But I'm going to attempt to constantly bring up the WNBA anytime I get an opportunity to. I want to put light on women's basketball, women's sports as a whole. I do want to ask you this, Mo. I know you're probably not a huge golf fan, but today is the U.S. Open. And I don't know how much you keep up with it. I'm not sure if you know anything of it, but Scottie Scheffler right now is on a Tiger Woods-like run. I mean, he's just unbelievable. They're playing at one of the toughest golf courses in the entire world. Forget the country. They're saying if they break par, if they go under par for the tournament, like -1 for the tournament, that they'll be happy. That they'll be happy to go -1 for the tournament.
Wow.
I'm interested to see how today pans out. But I will say this, it's a little overrated because they've already already started, and there's already a player that's 4 under par.
Already?
It's in PA. Yes, 4 under par through 8 holes. That's the leader right now in the clubhouse. Obviously, I think I said that they not overrated the course, but I said that they're overrating how hard this course is going to be. I didn't like the way they were making it out to be. So I'd love to hear your opinion. If you follow any golf at all, U.S. Open?
Yeah, let me be honest. No.
That's fair. That's fair. I wanted to bring it up because you started today.
I don't dislike golf, but I'm one of them kind of people. If I'm flicking channels, golf. Let me see real quick. Okay, seen enough. Keep it moving.
The only reason I bring it up is I kind of want to give myself a cheap plug one more time. And look, last PGA, I got number 1 and I got number 2. I got number 1 and I got number 2. So I got Scottie and Bryson. That were my 2 picks. I'm going to go with Bryson again. I think Scottie will not finish top 2. I'm going with Colin Morikawa. And then I have a huge underdog in Harris English. 80-1 odds. I think he finishes in the top 5. Yes, the whole locations will matter with difficulty over the weekend. I think it's going to rain Saturday, though, so the course is going to slow down. So if we're being completely honest with ourselves, I think that they've overhyped this a little bit. I think they've overrated it just a shade. Just wanted to give that pick out there because they just started the U.S. Open, and J.J. Spahn's already 4 under par. All right, on to the NFL. We have a lot of different things happening. The Steelers are aiming for balance with Aaron Rodgers. Bryce Huff back with the 49ers with Robert Saleh. What I want to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals. I honestly believe this when I say this, Mo. I think I could do a better job in the front office than the Cincinnati Bengals.
I believe so too.
Trey Hendrickson is not reporting to camp because he wants a new deal. They also listen, you're not going to pay Trey Hendrickson? That's fine. You don't pay him. That's fine. He's a sack leader. The NFL has made rookies signing contracts so easy for NFL teams. It's basically like a copy and paste. Oh, you're the 34th pick? Paste. That's what your contract is. Like, they made it so easy to make the pick, to sign your draft pick.
Right.
Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher that they drafted to be the Trey Hendrickson replacement if they don't sign Trey Hendrickson, has not reported to camp. Not reported to camp. He's in a lingering contract dispute. He's one of 5 rookies, not 5 first-round rookies. He's one of 5 first-round rookies still unsigned.
That's crazy. That organization, that's crazy.
I don't know. I would have got Shamar Stewart there yesterday if I thought like I was not getting Hendrickson back. That is absurd to me. It's definitely something that I don't understand how they can make that type of goof or that mistake. I don't know how, like, the Bengals defense this year could be historically bad. And they were historically bad last year. They could be historically bad this year.
Which blows my mind because they've gone all in on the offense to a degree, right? The defensive talent that you do have, you need to get them signed and get them in-house. And for this organization to sit here and play games, I don't know how Joe Burrow wants to sign up for more of this.
It's kind of locked in. Like, he's kind of locked in.
I know he is, and I know they've committed to him, and they would make the argument the moves they made that by bringing back both wide receivers are all about him. But there is another side of the ball.
Are the Bengals trying to stiff Stewart on injury insurance or something? I don't think so. Maybe that's what I don't know what the contract dispute is. They're going to win 65-63 every week.
That'll be fun to watch.
I guess. I'll say this, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I got the chance to watch it last night. Have you seen the incident that happened with DeMarcus Cousins?
I've only heard that he's been suspended, but no, I haven't seen the incident.
He's banned from the league.
Okay.
So DeMarcus Cousins got into a dispute with a fan. Front row fan, and listen, I get it. You shouldn't be in the front row chirping at players. But as far as I can see, it's just chirping. He's not throwing anything at him. He's chirping at him. DeMarcus Cousins comes over to him and decides he wants to grab his nuts, put his hand on his nuts, and then shove it in the guy's face. This demonstratively grabs his nuts and then kind of puts his hand in the guy's face. I give the guy credit. He didn't back down whatsoever. He got up and started going at Boogie Cousins. Boogie Cousins' teammates are holding him back. They start throwing drinks. He starts making gestures to the crowd. DeMarcus Cousins needs to chill the hell out. He's banned from the league forever. Suspended for the season, banned from the league. He better get out of there. Get out of, get home. DeMarcus Cousins is out of his friggin' mind. Out of his mind.
His temper has always been a problem, right? It's been a problem when he was at the peak of his powers and he was arguably the best big man or one of the best big men in basketball. Cousins has always had a problem dealing with his temper. For him to still be having those issues on the other side of his prime, but he's still trying to have a professional career, that's crazy to me. And it shows a lack of maturity. And you're in another country too. That's not a good look, man. I'm with you. If you can't behave, what you don't want to do is act up in another country. You need to come home. You need to come home and get it together.
I want to share the video for our listeners or people that are probably watching that have no idea what happened in this. Mo, I want to get your kind of reaction on this because this is your first time seeing it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. You see my screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing it fine.
All right. Here's the. It's going to get the sound on for us too.
Como lo para
I'm going to stop there. As you can see, it's completely uncalled for. Like, it's not. Look, I understand if the guy's chirping with you, but like the act of grabbing your nuts and pushing someone's face and trying to put it in his face as a professional basketball player, what are we doing?
Kyle just took my line. At this rate, he'll only be hooping on 2K. Yeah, he couldn't make it for some reason. He didn't pan out in the Filipino league. It probably was for the same reason. And now he needs to leave Puerto Rico ASAP because I mean they're raining down drinks on this guy's head. Like it was completely out of control. But it's him. It's how he acts. Like, dude, you're. I'm thinking is what mid-30s at this point in his career, 34, 30, somewhere in that range, and you're still behaving that way.
Oh, I completely agree with you. And the part that is so weird to me is, are you going to fight the entire crowd? Like, after you get the first drink thrown on you, like, go in the back, bro. Like, stop. Like, the first part is terrible. But, like, I feel like he could have gotten, like, yeah, the guy said something to me that was awful, disrespectful, so I wanted to disrespect him back. But I realized it got out of hand. I went in the back, and that was it. The part that gets me is when these players do things like this, and then they give the finger to the crowd, and then they get hit with drink after drink, and then they're coming back, they're trying to fight the whole crowd. I understand what seeing red looks like. You're not going to beat the whole crowd up, bro. There's a whole crowd of people. You just gave them all the finger. You just got thrown out of the game. I'm assuming it's a road game. I'm assuming like the crowd's rooting for the other team. I don't know this, but like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And you're enraging the crowd. Like, now everybody in the crowd wants a piece of you, and that could be dangerous. That's a dangerous situation. And for him to come back, right? Like he started going, and then he came back for more. Like you said, was he going to take on the whole crowd? To me, this is the beginning of the end of DeMarcus Cousins, I guess, professional career as a hooper. I guess the next place he can go is the Big Three.
I don't know. Another dummy that's in the news. I don't know if you've seen this either. Former NFL defensive back Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Oh, no.
He did not guilty Wednesday to multiple charges following his arrest over the weekend in Greater Cincinnati. Jones, 41, was arrested by Covington Police Department early Saturday morning and charged with alcohol intoxication in a public place, disorderly conduct, and assault of a police officer or probation officer. Now, Jones's attorney, Pete Schaefer, addressed the charges Wednesday, accusing the police and the media of embellishing the facts of the case. The recent arrest of Pac-Man Jones in Covington, Kentucky is yet another example of overzealous policing and systematic issues that plague our justice system. Adam did nothing wrong other than exercise his right to ask why he was being detained. Initially, officers claimed he was being arrested for assault and then shifted to public intoxication, which in itself is not a crime in many jurisdictions unless it leads to dangerous behavior, and finally settled on disorderly conduct simply for asking why he was being detained. That's from his lawyer. Look, I would be very willing to hear this out if it was like TJ Houshmandzadeh, if it was a random NFL player. Adam Jones has been arrested. You want to take a guess? Mo, I want you to take a guess. How many times Adam Jones has been arrested?
8 to 10 times.
He's been arrested, and I'm making sure I'm saying this right because I looked it up. I looked it up before the show, but I wanted to make sure he's been arrested 13 different times.
Wow, I was close.
13 different times that this man was arrested. At one point, we got to say they're not just looking for you, Adam. And if you're going to drink, I don't know, maybe not go to the goddamn club. You're a millionaire. Have people at your house.
I kind of like that idea better. And by the way, I'm not advocating anybody drink to get drunk, but if you do need to take a drink and you've got the history that he has, drink at home. Drink at home around friends or somebody that can control you or watch you.
10 times over a 9-year period, and then 3 times when he was not in the NFL. So 13 total times. I looked it up. 10 times over a 9-year period, though. So it's a little bit shocking. And then the last thing, and I go back to the WNBA. I didn't know if I was going to have time to get to this. The Aces, who went all out this offseason to, they brought in Jewell Loyd. Jewell Loyd is Team USA player, one of the top 10, 15 players in the WNBA. She was great for Seattle last year. Jewell Loyd averaged 20 points a game, 25 points the year prior. They brought her into Las Vegas. They have her with Asia Wilson, and they have her with Chelsea Gray, who's widely considered one of the top point guards. Jackie Young, and they're 4-4. They lost last night to the Los Angeles Sparks. And let me just be clear, the Cameron Brinkless Sparks, but she's still not back yet. Rakia Jackson went off with 30. Kelsey Plum had 13. Azora Stevens and Dearica Hamby both with 19 in a win at Las Vegas. What's wrong with the Aces?
It's weird to say because they've been dominating the league for the better part of the last 3 seasons, and all of a sudden they can't get it together with one of the best players in the league. I don't understand that at all. I don't know if it's a chemistry issue or a disconnect between them and the coach, but they are struggling on both sides of the floor, by the way.
And they struggled last year, too, a little bit more than I expected them to. And then lastly, I want to bring this up, and this might go to my further point earlier. Minnesota took their first loss of the season last night. Seattle beat them, and Seattle's 6-4. They're a very scrappy team. I think they have a shot to be very good this year. Skylar Diggins is back to playing her style of basketball. You have Erica Wheeler, Gabby Williams, Nneka. That team as a whole, Seattle looked really good last night. They beat Minnesota. Very good WNBA team. Minnesota was 9-0 going into last night, leaving the only undefeated team left to be the New York Liberty.
Liberty on a mission. I still think Minnesota's going to be right there, but I'm glad that you pointed out that Seattle team, talented, scrappy. I actually did watch a little bit of the game, and they really deployed a really smart move. It's funny because you talked about it earlier with the Pacers and the Thunder. They were attacking Nafisha from her blind side, making her make decisions late in the clock, and she struggled with turnovers. So look, scrappy team, smart coach. I think they're going to be one of those teams. They're going to be in the postseason, and they could shock one of the better teams. They're that good.
I completely agree with you. That's the reason I brought them up. Skylar Diggins has always been one of my favorite WNBA basketball players. I've always been a Skylar Diggins fan. I just recently been on this little love affair with the way Gabby Williams played since the Olympics. For her to carry that French team the way she did, it reminded me of what Yabusele did for France against the United States and getting himself back in the league. Gabby Williams was basically almost out of the league in the W, and she was out of the league for the first half of the season. And then after that performance, she's back in the league and she's playing for Seattle, and she's got good minutes on that team. I think she's a very good player. I'm very interested to see how that plays out for Seattle. Does your opinion change at all on the WNBA as far as like who wins? Like, are the Liberty set the repeat? Like, who did you originally pick to win it all? Did you have? I thought you had New York over Indiana in the finals, or did you have Indiana over New York? I think that was something.
Yeah, I actually had this year I had Indiana. I went wild. I went wild.
I don't think it's wild. I think that if you look at the New York Liberty, the only game that they've played close this year, they played one game close this year, and it was versus the Fever, and that was the game where, I'll be completely honest with you, Sabrina Ionescu got the most phantom call to take a 2-point lead at the end of the game. And then, listen, Natasha Cloud played good defense. I'll still claim that when you go underneath someone's arm to knock the ball out, it's a reach. That's okay. If you barely touched her and it's ticky-tack and you don't call that call against Caitlin Clark, fine. But if you're going to call that call for Sabrina Ionescu on the one side, you should call it on both ways.
Fair. I agree.
Any final thoughts, Mo? We're basically at time.
No, I love that we spent a significant amount of time giving the W their flowers. I love that every time you come on, at least once or twice a week, we say, hey, let's shine a light on the W or women's sports in general, because I think that's big. So I love that. And look, I still think when you watch their product versus the NBA product, in terms of the fundamentals of basketball, the W is better.
You said it's better?
In terms of the fundamentals of basketball, they are better.
StreamYard didn't even want to listen to you. They just stopped you.
Oh, I catch you. Yeah, I know. That's been a problem today. I don't know what I did to them.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning for the morning show. What are you guys doing tonight?
I know we're having Carmike on. We're going to tackle Carmike's top 10 all time.
Love that.
You might want to tune in because I know you're a huge Kobe Bryant fan. You got to tune in. I know you're a huge Kobe Bryant fan.
I have Kobe, and I know I have him high, and I have him at 4.
No, Carmike's at a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I know that I'm like having him a little too high when I have him at 4, right? Like I think I'm a 5 actually.
I think you got him at 5, which I think is not. I got him at 6, so I don't think 5's crazy.
I'll recap mine real quick. It's Jordan, LeBron, Wilt, Kareem. I'm the guy that has Wilt way higher than most people do, and that's fine. But I have Jordan, LeBron, Wilt, Kareem, Kobe, Bird, Magic, Shaq, Duncan, Curry.
Yeah, so I think ours are similar. The order's not quite the same, but it's similar. You're the guy, and we have fun with this all the time. You know this, right? We do. You don't even think of Bill Russell.
Oh no. I think Bill Russell and Mike Tyson.
Don't kill me. Anybody listening, don't kill me.
I think Bill Russell and Mike Tyson should retire to the island of overrated.
Can't say anything.
I mean, you can't. He never averaged 20 points in a game ever.
I
don't think I have Bill Russell 11. I don't think I have him 12. I don't think I have him 13. I don't think I have him 14. I think he was overrated. But I don't want to get too far into that. We're at our time. Mo, close us out.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network. Appreciate you.
Take care.